All right, so this video is for the Finding the Main Ideas activity from the reading packet for the StoryWorks story Out of the Burning Darkness. If you're doing the work in the packet, you can just follow along in the video because I'm going to go through each question like I normally do. If you are doing it through Google Classroom, I'm going to show you how to work with that assignment in Google Classroom. So you're just going to click your classroom here, go to the classwork tab, find the assignment which is here, and when you click on that, it's going to take you to this Google slideshow. And everyone has their own Google slideshow, so you can edit directly onto the slideshow. It's not going to mess anything up. And I'll show you how to do that in just a few minutes. This worksheet, the skill we are working on is finding main ideas, and there's two different ways they could ask the question. They could give you the main idea of a section, and then you are going to find details which support that main idea, or it could give you some details from the section and ask you to find the main idea. And we will go through those questions, and I'll show you how to do that. All right, so for the first question, it comes from the section at the very beginning of the text. And the main idea is, while working in a coal mine in 1909, Albert Buckle experienced a devastating fire. And then what it does here is it gives you one detail that supports the main idea. And the detail they give us is the coal miners were trapped hundreds of feet underground. So what you need to do is find two more details from that opening section, that beginning section, that support that Albert Buckle experienced a devastating fire while working in a coal mine. And when you find those, you're going to just simply type it in here. See, this text box comes up, and you can even kind of move it around if you need more space or less space. And then you just simply start typing. So type in the letters of whatever the detail is that you want to write here. And once you got that, you can put in the second detail by clicking down here. So whatever your second detail is going to go here. Okay, let's move on to the next question. All right, so this one comes from the section Bright and Brisk. And this time, they don't give you the main idea. That's what you have to figure out. And the way you're going to figure it out is you're going to look at these details that they give you, these three details, and then ask yourself, what idea do all three of these support? What do these three have in common? What point are they trying to prove? And then you're going to put the main idea in here. So let's go through the three details. Miners were paid more than other workers. The cherry mine was new. Many thought the cherry mine was the safest mine in America. So when you put all three of those details together, what idea are they supporting? And you're just going to type it in here. So the main idea, whatever you think it is, you would simply type into that box and then move on to the next question. All right, the next question comes from the section Transforming America. They give you the main idea. And again, this time you're going to be finding two details that support that main idea. And the main idea for Transforming America is coal was an important resource that helped change America in the early 1900s. And that is a really good subheading, Transforming America, because the main idea is all about how coal changed or transformed America. So remember when I've told you all that a really good subheading is going to tell you what that section is all about. So it's a huge clue for your main idea when you look at what the subheading is called. So this is a really good subheading, Transforming America, because it is a nice little title for that section, because that section's main idea is how coal was so important that it was changing America dramatically in the 1900s. All right, it gives you one detail from that section, and you need to find 2 more, and I would say this is probably one of the easier questions on the worksheets. So there's plenty to choose from in this section that shows how coal was changing America in different ways. And again, when you put your answer in, you're just going to click the text box here. Okay, if you want to cooperate there, and just start writing in your detail, whatever that may be. And the same for your second one. All right, and when you move on to the next question, you'll just hit the next slide down. And it is difficult and dangerous is the section that it comes from. It does not give us the main idea this time, so that's what we're finding. That's what we're trying to figure out. Again, using that subheading is a really good tool for helping you come up with that main idea, because a good subheading is going to tell you what that section is all about. Here are the 2 details that we need to think about that they give us. Mining coal was hard work that left many miners dirty and sore. Children as young as 8 years old worked in the mines. What are those 2 details trying to prove? What point are they trying to prove? What main idea are they supporting here? And once you have figured that out, again, use this subheading to help guide you. You're going to just type your main idea in here. Next one, lonely and boring. The main idea, they give it to us. We have to come up with 2 supporting details that support or prove that main idea. And the main idea of this section, many jobs in the coal mine were lonely and boring. Look at that subheading, lonely and boring. In the text, it's right here. That's a really good subheading, right? Because that whole section is about how jobs in the coal mine were lonely and boring. That's our main idea. So now we need to come up with 2 details from that section that prove the point that these jobs were lonely and boring. They give one to you, but there's several. This is another one I think that's pretty easy. Several examples in this section, which starts at the bottom of page 7 and then continues over to page 8. Several examples in that section that you could write down here that prove that those jobs were lonely and boring. So when you find them, remember detail, I don't know what's going on with my computer today. Detail 1 would go here, then you would click down here for detail 2. I have no idea why it's right. Oh, because I messed that up. I'll fix that. I have to flip that text box over. I'll do that right now. Okay, there it is. So 2 is going to go here. And remember, you can adjust the text box as you need to make it bigger because you have more to write, you can. If you need to make it smaller, just because you didn't write as much, you can do that too. And you can even stretch it out, if you need even more space. I'll be able to figure it out. All right, next one. So the next section that we're looking at is scorching heat. That is on page 8. This is one where we have to figure out the main idea of that section using these details that they give us. So they give us 4 details. And as I'm reading them, think about, what do these details have in common? What is the common thread? What is the thing that they're referencing that each one is supporting? Albert learned a hay car was on fire. The smoke quickly got thick, and air from the air shaft fanned the flames. I'm noticing so far they're both talking about the fire. Next one, the fire spread throughout the mine where hundreds of other boys and men were working. Still talking about the fire. The cage operator stopped Albert and others from leaving the mine. Okay, so this has something to do with the fire, and the section is called scorching heat. So when you come up with your main idea, the one that ties all 4 of these together, you'll type it in here. I would move it down just a little bit because it's hard to see over the print that they have there. And again, you can adjust those as you need to. All right, an idea, you're going to move on to the last slide for the last two questions. The next one comes from Brutal Decision, and that's at the bottom of page 8. They give us the main idea, and we need to come up with 2 more supporting details that support it. So the main idea is the mine company leaders chose to seal off the mine air shaft even though workers were still trapped inside. I think brutal decision is a pretty good subheading because they did make a brutal decision, and that's what that whole section is about, making a decision which was kind of brutal and caused suffering for people. All right, they've already given us 1 detail from that section, and you need to find 2 more which support or prove that the mine company leaders chose to seal off the air shaft and there were people still inside. And once you come up with your details, you just in here. I don't know why I can't type today. Detail 1, detail 2. My computer has this lag going on. I think that's part of my problem. All right, and then we're going to move on to the last one. It's from the section New Laws. Again, when you're coming up with your main idea, it's very useful to look at what that subheading is because that subheading is going to point you in the right direction for your main idea. The details are: people were upset and worked to help those affected by the disaster. The mine company got in trouble for employing underage kids. And the last one is America passed new safety laws and laws banning child labor. So when you think about those 3 details, what main idea are they supporting? What point are they proving, the 3 of them together? And that's going to be your main idea. And again, use that subheading, New Laws, to help guide you as you write your main idea. Once you have all of these done, you don't have to share it with me because it should already be shared. If there's any trouble with that, I will let you know personally that I need you to share it with me if there's any sort of glitch or anything. But when you go back to your classwork and you click view, you just click turn in right here. See how it has the slideshow already there? So that should send me the slideshow. And then once you hit turn in. All right, if you have any questions, just let me know.